Craft Time with Miss Sissy. Today we are going to make a fairy garden with the items you have around the house, as well as different ideas for making different types of fairy gardens as well. Alright, the items that you're going to need today are going to constantly change. One thing that you definitely need for your fairy garden is you're going to need a jar that has a lid, and we just so happen to have all these items right here at the library, so definitely look around your home before you decide to go buy things. So we had a mason jar, which is perfect because I can close the jar completely. We did not have a fairy, but I was able to find a flower duck, so we're going to have a duck garden today. Now, fairy gardens can be made any sizes. However, I really like when they're small like this, especially for young children, because then they can carry the little fairy garden around with them. Now, if you're going to use a mason jar, you might not want them to carry their garden around with them. However, if you have a plastic jar at home, like when you finish the peanut butter, you can wash out your jar, your plastic jar, and you can have that ready, and your child can make a fairy garden right out of that plastic jar you have at home. So first thing we're going to start with is our fairy garden. We have to have something on the bottom. I like when I can find colorful things, and we had some colorful rocks, and we had some beautiful jewels here at the library. So I'm actually going to use the colorful rocks for the bottom, and then I'm going to put some jewels on top of the colorful rocks. And of course, it is up to you how tall you want your fairy garden or how short you want your fairy garden. I'm going to make mine a little bit tall. I'm going to put a little more in. I think that's good for my first layer. And now I'm going to put some of my colorful jewels on the top. And I had some green and some blue jewels. Best part about this craft, it does not have to be perfect. I'm trying to have my layer just cover the rocks so the rocks can't get into my top layer. And it's going to be easier to put my plants and things down. I'm just making them look nice and pretty. Alright, now we had some different little fake plants here around the library. And I like my fairy garden to have a little bit of green things in it. Alright, oh, that's pretty. Alright. And these look like fake pears that we had also. Don't know what craft we were using these for, but I'm going to stick some of these in also. And I'm putting these towards the back because I know I'm going to have to put my duck in the front. We did have some feathers here around the library, and I do love feathers. And ducks typically have feathers. So I'll put my feather right in the back. Alright, and I'm actually going to save these for another time because my jar's getting kind of full. And here's time for Mr. Duck. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a tight squeeze. Oh my goodness. Whoops. Maybe I should have put Mr. Duck in first. There we go. And then I will fill in behind him. There we go. And this is one of those crafts where it's very easy if you need to change your steps, or if you decide, you know what, I don't want that, I want to put this in there instead. And then can't forget our feather. I'm going to take a quick peek. Oh my goodness, you can't even see his duck face. Fix him a little bit. And if you have a larger mason jar, you can use a larger mason jar if you'd like. All right. And there is one idea to do a fairy garden, And we do have several different ideas you can use as well. You could do a theme for your jar, such as you could say, okay, everything in my jar I want us to find outside. You could get some dirt and some gravel from outside, put in your jar, find some leaves, some acorns, maybe you can find some pine cones. And then another idea that you can do, there's endless ideas you could do. You could have a color theme for your jar. You could say, I want my jar to have everything blue in it. So that's a great treasure hunt to have around the house. Find all kinds of blue, very small items that you can fit into your jar. Another idea, you could have it as a nightlight jar. And as you see, we did have a tea light here. And where Mr. Duck was, put our little tea light. I actually like how that looks a little bit better. Sorry, Mr. Duck. All right, and we have so many amazing ideas. And one thing right now, while you're stuck at home, great idea is to do some different gardening labs. Thank you so much for joining me.